Hey, what's up with it, guys? Um, Before we start the podcast, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things. First of all, check out my eyebrows. I went to like line it up. I ended up almost shaving the bitch completely off. Look at that shit. It's almost bald, so forgive me if I look like I have no eyebrows. But anyways, let me just share the screen. Make sure I don't share no funny business. Okay. I've been known to share some fucked up shit by accident. But here we are. You guys might not be aware because I don't think I talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it on YouTube yet. But if I did, then I'm talking about it again. If I didn't, then I'm talking about it now. You heard? So these are my t-shirts, man. It's Teammacho.shop. Go figure. And I got the game time tees. Anybody who knows me knows it's kind of my motto. Every time I'm in the gym, in the room, or it's like one of my ad libs. It's game time. That's basically my reply to everything. Game time, baby. So game time tees, game time on the front, Team Macho on the back. Then we got the I'm not a scientist tee, uh, the logo on the front, on the back. I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm a bodybuilder. Simple as that, baby. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. I'm not here to do a bunch of scientific shit and break down the chemistry of the gear and the fucking you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be here trying to be a damn kinesiologist when I'm in the gym. I'm focused on effort. Obviously, I want to be targeting the muscles properly, but it doesn't take a fucking brain scientist to do that. It's about effort. Yeah, people are so focused on being so perfect that they forget effort, which is the most important part. But anyways, I digress. But these are my teas, man. So if you want to show some support, check it out. I don't really ask for much. I just put out content, and if you guys like it, this would help support me and then put me in a position where I could put out more content because I edit all this shit myself. I do all the work myself. I film everything myself. And it's a lot of work, and I want to put out more content, but I can't really handle any more work, so I'm gonna have to hire people. But that's a investment, and the investment has to make sense at the end of the day. So for it to make sense, I got to see some return, right? It is what it is. I didn't, none of us got into this podcast for money, but if you're going to invest money, you're going to have to make something, or you're just throwing away your money in the toilet. And we can't do that because we're grown men and we have bills to pay. But speaking of bills to pay, let me pull up my homie in crime. How do you move this? Can you move this? Oh, there we go. My homie in crime, Mr. Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland, aka Beef Stew himself. He got some shirts as well. You guys probably know about this by now because we've talked about it a few times on the podcast. But why not talk about it again? It's my homie. I want to see him. I want to see him get some compensation as well. He shows up to my podcast weekly. I don't give him shit. I don't pay him. I don't even say thank you. So this is my way of saying thank you. Um, by saying cop his fucking t-shirts, man. Show him some love, man. He's taking time out of his day to do these podcasts. I know you guys like him on there. I know you guys like Stu on there. Who doesn't like Stu, man? It's a great guy, but I don't want to get too mushy on here. This is a long ass fucking ad, so I'm gonna cut it there, but enjoy the fucking podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I got bad news, man.
What's up?
My YouTube is demonetized officially.
Why?
Bro, with YouTube, there's never like a real reason, your guidelines. But there was somebody I was corresponding with, like, I think it was a real person. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, can you tell me what guidelines is it that was so intense that I got to strike and demonetize? And they could never tell you. It's like I'm at a point now, man. It's like you have to just understand it is what it is. I'm not gonna hire a lawyer. I'm not gonna reach out to my social media friend. It's their platform. That's what they
Yep.
want to do. Fuck it. At the end of the day, like I'm never one to put all my stock in one thing, anyways. The
Yeah.
YouTube checks, I'd be lying if I said the YouTube checks. It was decent. It wasn't crazy, but I mean I definitely wouldn't mind getting those checks, but
Yeah. Hell yeah.
but at the same time, I make money in other ways, and I just have to accept it is what it is. It's theirs. We don't have to agree with it, but it's theirs. They
Is
they
there
could do
anything that
whatever.
you can do as far as like starting over, for instance, and seeing if you can build it back up again?
Well, they're allowing me to post. I just can't put any ads on it. Um, I don't know, man. I think with the Spotify, maybe I'll do subscription, and
Yeah.
I could try Rumble. I just don't feel like there's enough people on there. I know people say there is, but there's a difference between YouTube and Rumble.
Yeah. Of course. Is Rumble? That's where Tony Hughes is now, right?
Yeah, yeah. I personally wish that there wasn't a difference, but YouTube's been around so long.
Been
YouTube is
around so long.
exactly so. Maybe one day. Listen, man, it's crazy how we can live in a country where you listen. I'm not talking about anything crazy here. Like we're not talking about anything crazy here. This is
Yep.
really pretty basic stuff. Even like with the drug talk, we don't even talk about drugs that much these days. So I couldn't tell you. But if I'm being completely honest, let's be completely honest.
Mhm.
The moment where I started having troubles with YouTube is once we started mentioning anything political.
Oh
We
yeah.
we don't we don't even go that deep, but
Yeah.
even brushing over it triggers something for sure. It triggers something
That
for sure.
that's what happened to Blackstone, my former company, your current, which I'm happy to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
So we spent a lot of money advertising through Facebook ads, right?
Mhm,
And we had already been told that we were unable to monetize on YouTube, and they didn't give us a specific reason either. At the time, I think we had already had like we had at least like 40,000 subscribers, like 50,000. I don't know, nothing like earth
mhm,
shattering, but a good amount. We had done a lot of videos for years,
mhm,
so we were doing a lot with Facebook and Instagram. We were actually at one point spending about $70,000 a month through Facebook advertising and linking it all through our Instagram's sponsored ads. Well, we got completely banned, shut down at the absolute worst time during Black Friday one year. I think it was like 2019.
mhm,
And we were on the phone for so long trying to get to the actual rep over there, going through the whole thing. And we couldn't get a real answer. And then finally, they just said straight up, "Did you post something with Donald Trump?" And
mhm,
I did. What I posted was somebody made a funny like meme of me wearing a blue suit and a red tie going like this and Donald
mhm,
Trump and it same exact picture and it said, make sure you pick the right president. And it was just
mhm.
funny. And all I did was reposted it. And
Yeah,
they were like, yeah, they have software that can tell as it goes through everything if you
yeah.
posted any Trump images or anything like that, and it completely wiped us out. Like, and we were like, listen, we've been spending thousands of dollars on these Facebook ads that nobody's seeing for Black Friday, and this is a major big deal. And we couldn't get any kind of help back from them on it. Complete bullshit. But while all that was going on, Hillary Clinton was using the platform like crazy to market for her presidency. So it's like the most bullshit thing. Excuse my language.
Mhm.
So hearing this happen to you, I'm concerned now because since I can't do anything on Blackstone's YouTube, I started a personal YouTube, and I've just started. You know what I mean? Like I would,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I got to put the work in to get it to monetization, but I don't want to be in a point where I can't monetize since I'm not allowed to do all these other things either. You know?
I guess I think what you should do is you have that page. Do you have a Rumble as well?
Not yet. People said I should get one because they said it's,
Mm.
you're not censored as much over there.
Yeah, you should probably do both, and then I think you should also, well, not yet, but when you get to the point where it's monetized, make it like a subscription, because you can do a subscription on YouTube too, and then they don't seem to for whatever reason, they don't seem to police the subversion as much, because it's supposed to be like, I guess, their version of OnlyFans. They're not gonna be porn on there, but I would hope
Yeah.
not. But but it's supposed to be personal, so they don't seem to police that as much. So just in case, maybe you can post more general stuff on the main page. They don't even want you cursing, bro. If I curse within the first minute, they either demonetize it or lower the ads, and I'm like, I already clicked. This is not for kids. So
Yep.
what's wrong with cursing? There's no kids watching. It's honestly it's kind of like it's silly, but like I said, is their platform, not
They
ours.
have so much
You
power. That's
know,
the thing, you know?
way too much power. Way too much power. Imagine being in a world where, let's say you're a member at my gym, and I find out that you you like vanilla ice cream, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Vanilla ice cream? Get the fuck out of my gym. You can't. Why? I don't have to like what you like.
Yeah.
I I don't have to like Trump. I don't have to like Clinton. I don't have to. It's okay. We can like different things
Mhm.
and not have to ban each other from the fucking.
Yeah. It's
I don't know.
crazy. Like, look what happened with Elon Musk with X in Brazil.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he wouldn't censor the political stuff. Brazil is just banning X completely, or Twitter, whatever, the former Twitter completely. That's like so crazy to me. That's communism right there.
It's cringe. Where does this go and where does this end? Like worst case scenario would be civil war.
Yep.
Honestly though, I don't think people these days have the balls to go anywhere. Like people talk a big game, but I don't think anybody has the balls to actually go into that kind of dispute.
No.
So where does this end? I think life goes full circle. I think things go to one extreme end, then it goes to the other extreme end, and then back and forth. How long will this take to happen? I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime. I don't know how that's going to work.
No.
But at some point, the pendulum will swing. Who knows when? So as of now, what can we do? I don't know. Let's all move to Texas. I don't fucking know, man. I don't. I don't got the answers, bro. I just. I'm not even political. I never wanted to be political. I don't care. I don't. I feel like it's all. I feel like nobody actually cares about you, so I don't care to think about it.
Mhm.
But we're forced to be political because it makes a difference now, right? So even like people who don't care about this kind of shit, you're kind of being forced to care. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to even talk about it, but it's affecting my life. Like it's literally affecting my paycheck right now as we
Yeah.
speak. So how can I not care about it?
When it
Kind of
affects
have
your
to.
pockets like that, man, you're going to start paying attention a lot more.
Exactly.
It seems like the last 10 years or so,
It's
like I
been.
could go back and say, the 90s were amazing, but I was also a teen. You know what I mean?
It's
I was a
true.
teen.
It's true.
So, but man, I guess even my early bodybuilding years, 2000 to 2010, 11, 12, I just it seemed like the world was great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can can we separate all the opinions and all the it's like with training, right? We talk about training. Some people are like, no, this is the best rep range, this is the best form. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of that.
Yeah.
Just give me intensity. Just,
Mhm.
just train the failure. Give me what's the word I'm looking for? Output. What's the word I use? I forget the word I use. It's not intensity. Whatever. Just just give me the work. Give me intensity. Everything else I don't care about. So same thing with this. Just let us do what the fuck we want. Just let us live our life. If you're gay, go do whatever the fuck you want. If you're this, go do. I don't care. Just let us do it. If you love guns, let us get guns. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So just let us police ourselves to a point. I'm not saying let everybody break the law, but within the means, just let us do our thing. And like you said in the '90s, it was closer to that. We didn't have these little disputes because we didn't have to talk about it. Like we didn't. If there was a trans in the bathroom, we didn't fucking know because he
Yeah.
probably looked just like a girl. So
Hmm.
nobody even bought eye. But when you make it a thing, then it becomes a thing. Then we start fighting. When the truth is that nobody really cares, bro. Like none of us really care. Like me and you talking. When has race ever come up in our conversations or religion?
Yeah.
We could. You don't know what religion I was raised on. You don't care. You just like I like this guy. He's cool. I like this guy. He's cool. It's only a thing because we make it a thing. Let's just live our lives and be happy, and that's all everybody wants. Shouldn't be that hard, right?
No, I mean, at this point, I'm waiting for it to turn into like one of those purge anarchy movies, you know?
I got to be honest, man. It's gonna come to something. Something. There has to be some kind of some kind of boiling point where things
Mhm.
change because I don't think I thought it was gonna happen in COVID, but like I said, people people aren't that brave anymore. That was the perfect
Yeah.
opportunity, and
Hmm.
it's kind of like it kind of fizzled up, and the government kind of like, maybe let's back up a little
Yeah,
bit, and that was
it
enough.
got a little testy for a little while in the beginning, you know, right after all the George Floyd stuff went down, there were some little like
Right.
riots around. Man, they came through where I was, they robbed what did they rob? They robbed a Walmart. They went into Walmart, they took all the frozen foods out. It was all over the papers and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and it was like, I was like, damn, that's right, 20 minutes from here, 15 minutes from here. But it fizzled out pretty fast too. There was like a couple
Yeah.
in weeks. I thought maybe, like if Trump actually did get assassinated, we might
That
have saw
100%. Yeah.
we might
I
have
think
saw
that
some
would have been it.
chaos. Yeah.
I think that would have been the boiling point, and it was close. It was close.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist guy, but sometimes the world is a conspiracy. Like the whole government is a conspiracy.
It's all
So,
conspiracy. Yep. It
so
is.
technically, you know, whereas 10 years ago, if we heard somebody talking about this, we'd be like, "Oh, look at that crazy guy." Now we're kind of like, that crazy guy was probably right.
Yeah.
you know. So what I think sometimes is the whole George Floyd saga, right? Do you think in any ways that was manufactured? Not like they it was planned to kill him, but do
Mhm.
you think it was used on purpose to create more divide by the
I
media?
really do. I really do.
It had to, it's one of those like things can happen. Even let's say COVID happened by accident. I don't know if it did, but let's say it happened by accident.
Mhm.
They still weaponized it.
Oh yeah.
Should we be talking about this? I just realized this might be going too
We're
deep.
both trying to get money back on YouTube.
Probably this is probably the worst conversation we should be having. I, I might just blank out some of the words, yeah. but but it's like whether or not any of this is manufactured or happened naturally, it's definitely being
Yeah.
used as weapons.
I just don't understand the when you look at like the original Constitution and like Bill of Rights, right? And you think like free speech is very important. That's powerful. But
Mm-hmm.
really everything that we do on social media is heavily censored.
Yeah,
And you actually can get in trouble for what you say. You can lose finances for what you say.
yeah,
So
yeah,
what happened to the freedom of speech, which I think is what Elon Musk is trying to do at X, is allow that freedom. But a lot of
yeah,
people have so many problems with it. It's like
yeah, yeah.
wild.
I think but when it comes to words, I think words should be free. Now, in a real world context, let's say we're like like legally or like social media wise, I don't think there should be any consequences. It might sound crazy, but I don't
Mhm.
think there should be. Now, personally, if you say something derogatory to somebody to their face and they punch you in the face, well, they have the right to punch you in the face. That's
Yeah.
just human consequence. So you can say anything you want, but there can be a personal consequence. I think we should leave it at that. I don't think businesses and Media outlets should take it in their own hands to ban you. I think if you say the wrong thing to somebody, we all know this. If you say "fuck you" to somebody, they might punch you in the face. You have to
Mhm.
deal with that. But you can't.
Yeah.
But you can't. You're allowed to say "fuck you."
Yeah.
You know.
Uh,
Whereas, but when it comes to media, I don't think they should tell you. Let the comment section do it. Let the comment section say "fuck you, PJ. That was racist." Let them say it. Don't come and ban it. Just let people, or let the people say, "I don't want to buy this guy's t-shirts anymore." Let them take it into their own hands. That's life will take its own course. You don't have to step in.
yeah.
Let it take its own
I
course.
was surprised they didn't have this when I went to prison that I noticed when I got out of prison. Like, sometimes like I will write something on like one of my friend, like for instance, like Guy Sisternino, right? I might like talk shit to him
I saw that. Yeah.
and they'll tell me to reconsider my comment because it's offensive. I'm like, no, I'm not reconsidering my comment. I want to play this game.
Yeah, I thought about it. Well, they also hide it. It'll say hidden comments, and you go
Yeah.
click it, and it's literally somebody like, "Oh, this guy's like," they'll say like, "Oh, gorilla muscle" or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they took it out of context. They're like, "Oh, this is
That's
like
so crazy.
we're all grown. Let me see the comment, bro. I'll be
Mhm.
okay." And if I can't handle it, then it's not for me because I
But
don't know
it's
what to
real
tell you.
simple for any of us. If it's that big of a deal, right? It's just easy to block somebody with one button. So why not just allow it?
But why not? Like I always said, just let us police ourselves
Yeah,
within
we'll police
reason.
ourselves.
Exactly. Well, okay. Well, I guess that's I guess that's enough of that topic before the whole. Well, I guess I'm already demonetized, right? So what are they gonna do?
Yeah, I'd like to see you be able to get it sorted out and fixed, man.
Yeah. I know people I can reach out to. I just don't know if because I feel like the more you do that, the more they put an eye on you. You
Yeah.
know. I remember with Konevsky. You know Konevsky, Eric Konevsky, good friend of mine. He had lost his last channel, and I feel like the more he was fighting for it, it just put a bigger target on his back.
Yeah, I know
And
Trigili lost his, and I was like, "Are you going to get it back?" And he was like, "Nah, I'm banned." And then I think, like I heard, what's her name, Missy Trescott got banned just for like talking about like SARMs or something like that, or
boy, that's so ridiculous. That's so
yeah.
well with Nick. Yeah, even when he tried to make a new channel, they would somehow figure it out and ban him
Hmm.
again. At least Konevsky, he was able to. He don't like to talk about it because he don't want them to realize.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least he was able to have a new channel. But with Jilly, even if I was to try to I wanted to get him on the podcast actually, but me bringing him on the podcast, they could demonetize. Well, they already did, but they could take down my channel as well. As crazy
Yeah,
as
he
it
was telling
sounds,
me that when I was talking about it with him, that it could affect them also. So
that's insane. I had
yeah.
Konevsky on my podcast. He was like, "Bro, don't mention the other channel because they might be able to catch on." And I was like, "Is it that serious? Holy fuck!"
I know, man. It's not like we're on here talking about like inciting
Murdering.
riots and violence on people.
Oh,
You know?
you would think we're like some crazy criminals talking about some insane shit. It's literally just like guy talk. We're literally
Yeah.
just getting out here talking. All right. Let's get a little more positive, I guess.
All right, keep it up. All right.
Yeah, but I see you've been back in the gym training. Let me see if I could pull up. Do you post on your page a lot? Well, not
I'm starting
really.
to post more, yeah, a little bit here and there. Really more in my story, but I'm starting to post some stuff on my page. I posted a little leg workout the other day.
Oh, there we go. And I was thinking the other day, right? I was like, well, you're probably not allowed. You're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to work in fitness, something like that. What's
So
the?
it's crazy. I actually had to meet with my probation officer today.
Mhm.
And so here's what my rules are. It's very, very interesting. So I can't work in dietary supplements at all for anybody, period, not just Blackstone Labs. So people, they don't understand where they're like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? It's like anything related to dietary supplements. So what I asked today is I had a conversation with two different probation officers today. Can I do fitness coaching? That's what I used to do.
Mm.
And their whole thing was that they want to be able to help me. they're like, here's the thing, as a fitness coach, because whatever I do has to get approved by the judge and prosecutor who seem to hate me. That they can say, well, he's going to teach people how to do supplements or tell them what supplements to buy, and they could make an argument there. So what they said was, you could probably get somebody to hire you as a personal trainer and then have them write a description of what you're going to do that says, nutritional consulting, this and that, that doesn't have anything supplement related in, because there are plenty of trainers that do that and aren't pushing supplements. And hopefully you can get approved on that. But I can't do it myself. So like, I have friends that have gyms. So I was thinking about it today, like, okay, can I have one of them hire me? And we'll just work it out where if I take on clients, coaching clients, they'll have to pay through the gym like that. It's like a whole pain in the ass. It's like ridiculous.
But that was exactly where I was going to go with the conversation. I'm like, with as much experience as you have throughout the years of competing and coaching, I was like, I think you could literally rebrand yourself back as a coach and do really well for yourself, So
I've had a lot of inquiries, but I tell people, like, listen, if I can, I absolutely would like to do it again. I just, my probation officer said I have the most strict rules that he's ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I would say, meanwhile, we could still do like coaching corner episodes on here.
Yeah,
and we can answer people's coaching questions.
He said I could do. He's like, can't you monetize your podcast? I'm like, I haven't even brought it back yet because I'm waiting to move. I said, but that takes work. You know what I mean? So for me, like, when I start just podcasting again, I'm going to be talking about all the drugs and the PED stuff that we talk about. That's what I, so.
Oh yeah.
That's allowed, though. That's the funny thing.
It is. See, I always say like gear. I never use the technical words. I always say gear. I don't know if it makes a difference, but because we have our own like lingo when it comes to gear. We don't say like the pharmaceutical names. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of gets by. I think
possibly,
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, let's do some, because I do it with coaching corner with Compton. Compton gets pretty busy sometimes. We could ask like, hey, ask us like X and O questions, coaching questions, and we'll answer it. Mm-hmm. And then we could do. I think that'd be cool because you can have the clientele waiting for, once you get in the game, boom, you could jump right back into it. I think that'd be dope. I think a lot of people would love to hire you as a coach. Man,
I would like to get back into it. That's what I did for a long time. So just a matter of rules. I heard. Speaking of Compton, I heard he's been sleeping better. I'm happy to hear that.
Good. Yeah, he doesn't have the best sleep. When he was here, I mean, we both didn't sleep. I mean, we just it's not a strong point. I think his might be worse than mine, though. I think his might be worse than mine, because he's still big, but he's downsized. When I'm downsized, I sleep like a baby. I think for me, it's a weight thing. I'm just pretty fucking. I don't feel like I look that heavy, but I carry a lot of weight, man.
You're just a big dude, So
yeah, I've been a big guy.
Strangely, in prison, some of the small guys had CPAPs because of how bad their sleep apnea was. Like guys that were like 160 pounds that just had really bad sleep apnea.
Shit, I got one. The guy right here.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest, I kind of at night, for whatever reason, I have like a big meal and then I'm sitting there all full. So when I put it on, I feel like claustrophobic. I get nervous and I gotta try to sleep on like an emptier stomach, relax, take some of the anesthesias, give real cool vibe, and then just slowly. I won't even leave it on. Put it on for a little bit, take it off. I got to find a way to acclimate it, because, first of all, it's expensive. Second of all, I want to get good sleep, man.
Yeah, so it'll help your bodybuilding,
and it won't get easier than this. This is just the nose one. That's entry level, man. If I can't handle the nose shit, then I'm fucked. So I gotta work my way into it, and I think I'll have a. First of all, I'll put on more muscle if not for anything, because I can't recover. I'm down to like 6 working sets per body part. But I used to do like 10, 20 working sets per body part. I can barely recover from 6 because I'm not getting REM sleep. And
Mhm.
I'm still growing because genetically I can grow, but I think I'm not anywhere near my genetic potential because I'm just leaving too much, on the
Yeah,
table.
you're taking away from the recovery. I do think that if you start doing a scoop of the anesthetized, just do it and then get into bed and let yourself fall asleep. It'll knock you out.
Well,
You'll get a good 4 hours of pure deep REM sleep like that.
my only fear is that sometimes like I choke a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then if I'm sleeping deep, I wake up like choking. But I feel like I need to they have I think mouthpieces something. I think
Yeah.
if I could without even a CPAP, I think if I could take something like that to put me asleep and get like a mouthpiece, because I think if something happens with your tongue and I don't know, with your breathing and tongue and you choke, that's what scares me. If I wake up and I'll taste vomit and I'm like, the fuck is going on? I'm
Yeah,
not
that's scary. Hopefully, though, if you get used to using the CPAP, then you won't have that issue anymore either.
yeah, exactly. If I could get knocked out by the supplement, and then when I kind of wake up a little bit here and there, then I could throw the mask on maybe, because I don't when I put it on, it makes me not want to sleep. It's
Yeah.
weird, but if I'm already sleeping, then it's a little different.
And when I was competing, it was easy for us, the crew that I was with, to get GHB.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
real GHB, not like this bullshit like GBL that guys pass around at the parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, this
Um,
is
and for I used it very, very wisely where I would measure it with a syringe, so I knew exactly what I was getting. And I would have it where I would take it and sleep incredible, and I would wake up feeling ripped too. Like I used
holy
that
shit.
during my 20s, like when I was competing, it was phenomenal. I had a really good connection to it when I was out in LA. I mean, I used to be able to get it, it's all legal talks now. I used to be able to get literally like big liter bottles of it for like nothing. And, two cc's is like a capful, so
Yeah,
lasted me forever. But the problem is once you get used to sleeping with that and then you
can't
don't
sleep.
have it anymore, then you really have insomnia.
That is bad. Yeah, yeah. Was it did most people get like addicted to it? Would you say?
So yes and no. So it's not something where you physically start having like withdrawals where you need to take it. But I'll tell you, like, sex on GHB is insane. It's like by far the best
Oh,
experience ever. So, when you take it, like the girl that I was with, we would take it, time it out, and just have like, amazing sex and then sleep real deep. And so, that's why out in LA it was so popular, because all the gay bodybuilders had it because it loosened them up before that they would have. So if you knew any of those guys out there, then you could get the connection for it. But when you stop taking it, I think it's the effect that it has on serotonin production.
oh,
You get a lot of anxiety and really bad insomnia. And it took me, after years of doing it and not thinking I had any issue with it, it took me a while to fix my sleep after that. And I was trying everything. I was trying Ambien, Lunesta,
mm,
and things would work a little bit or they wouldn't really work. Like I was experimenting with Ambien, and I went up to 30 milligrams of Ambien, which is a lot, and I still didn't sleep right on Ambien.
oh shit.
Yeah, it was. I really don't like Ambien. It gave me very bad experiences. And then, before my trial with all the stress, I was just using lorazepam and Xanax. But even like start getting used to Xanax, it doesn't make you sleep the same way anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for me, bro, the craziest thing is just once I went to prison and my hormones crashed, being off the testosterone and everything, I just started sleeping great, and I still
Man,
sleep really good now that I'm back. So.
man, drugs are a slippery slope. I think drugs can be a beautiful thing, man, if used properly. But there's always a drawback, and you'd
Mhm.
have to be able to, I guess, mitigate that drawback. Some drugs are easier than others to do that, but I don't see drugs. You know how some people see drugs as like this is good or bad. I don't believe anything in life is good or bad, including
Yeah.
people. I think everything is a tool.
Hmm.
How you use it is gonna be up to you. You
Yeah.
know, you can use steroids all you want and get great results, very little side effects, and you could also take enough steroids and die young. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So that goes for everything. I, I think I've been able to use. I'm not shy to use drugs. I think I've been able to use drugs in moderation, and the fact that I don't have an addictive personality at all. I can go anything cold turkey, and it doesn't bother me. And it's hard for me to relate because I don't think most people are like that. I think most people are like, I can't stop, you know?
Yeah.
I've never felt that way. I've always felt like this is great, but if I wanted to stop, I could always stop, you
Hmm.
know? So for me, drugs are great for me because I get the benefits and I can stop, you know? So you also have to know yourself. Like right now with Kratom, a lot of people, I don't think the people who make these comments have any experience with Kratom though. I think it's a fear. But what I tell them is that if you honestly are that afraid, stay away from it. It's like
Yeah.
steroids. If you're like, oh, is it gonna give me liver cancer? I'm like, bro, just don't take it. No, I want to take it. I'm like, nah, just don't take it. If you're that afraid of it, leave it alone. you
Yeah. You
know?
need to be in a mindset where, like, for me, there wasn't a doubt in my mind when I was ready to start taking steroids. I
Mm-hmm.
had, trained for 10 years
Okay.
natural. I did my first show drug free. I was skinny as hell. I was in great shape. I was proud of
Mm-hmm.
myself. But
Mm-hmm.
when I saw everybody else and they were like, listen, man, you look great. You're obviously natural, but if you want to compete at this level, this is what you got to do. To me,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, sign me up. Where do I
Mm-hmm.
go? I got the the anabolics. What year was the one I got? It was like, man, it was old. It was like anabolics 1998 or anabolics 1999. William Llewellyn, and
The
it's just,
OG.
yeah, man, alphabetical order. You just read that whole thing, and you know what you want to do
You
after
good to
that.
go.
Now,
Yeah.
now things have obviously evolved over the years since then.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I read that book. I talked to a buddy of mine that was an awesome bodybuilder. I was like, I want to do this and this. And he was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, let me train you for a while like a bodybuilder first. And then, and I'm glad that I did that, because just changing my training around back then when I was a kid, because I was just training crazy heavy every day.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough volume of the reps that I was doing. I was benching sets of like 3 to 5 all the time. So
Yeah.
once I started getting up into sixes, eights, 10, 12s, mixing it around and like really getting in there, my body started responding like crazy. And he was like, look, man, look at how good you did. And you're not even taking anything yet. This is what it's all about. It's about using these things as tools.
Exactly.
But he told me, and I tell everybody the same thing. Once you get on this stuff, you're never going to want to go back to how you were before, because
No
it's not
chance.
close. So you got to make sure you're ready. And I was ready. And I never had, like, when I came off, I knew I was coming off because it was part of my program and what I had to do. But I'll tell you, once I retired, and people have a hard time understanding this for some reason. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Once I retired and I did my whole like PCT, cleaned myself out for a while. Once I got back on HRT, there's no point for me to ever come off.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, but you're relying on it. And I'm like, I'm 43 years old. What do you think? I don't want to be 43 years old. I want to be 25. You know what I mean? Like, of
Yeah.
course I'm relying on it. It's my medicine that makes me better.
Well, this might sound fucked up, but I remember when the older guys would try to scare me and be like, "Hey, if you get on it now, you'll never come off." And I'm like, "That's great. I don't want to come off this shit. I don't want to come off. I fucking hate coming off. Like now, sometimes the cruise is my favorite part, just
Yeah.
because I'm at a point I don't get small. I don't lose any
Mhm.
strength. I just lose water weight, and I feel great. My sex drive sometimes, I don't want to say goes up.
It gets
It,
better when you're cruising, though, right?
it feels better. Whereas on a bunch of stuff, I feel anxiously horny. It's not even a good
Yeah.
a good horny. When I'm off, I feel relaxed, and like when I get in the mood, it actually feels better. Honestly, it feels better. It's different. Like if you're on trend, you have a high sex drive, but it's almost like in a bad way. Like you
Yeah.
want to do bad, you want to do bad shit. You want like
Mhm.
fat girls, and you want
Mhm.
you want you want to you want to not be faithful to your when you're on cruise. You're a faithful man. You feel like good,
Yeah.
sound man. How you should feel. It's not like NPP and trend. It makes me have some weird thoughts, man.
Did
I
you,
don't
you
want
know, just
to.
thinking of this, going back to the subject of sleep.
Mhm.
When you go through like any kind of phase where you come off and you're in like a clean out HCG, whatever phase, do you find that you sleep really good in that phase?
Yeah, actually, I do a
Yeah,
lot
man. I
better.
remember when I was like, man, I used to hate coming off because I'd be like, damn, my sex drive is going to probably go down and I'm just going to be tired all the time. And I'd sit on the couch. It'd be like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I'd be passed out,
I
just
would sleep
exhausted.
really well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's not just the body. There's a difference between 290 off cycle and 290 on cycle.
Oh yeah.
Be- you're so saturated and full, you can barely scratch your back. But that same 290 off cycle, I feel more limber.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as hard. I'm not as vascular, but I'm not as congested. As maxed out.
Yep.
So I feel way more comfortable. I tie my shoes fine. So there is a difference. I don't really lose weight off of cycle. My body composition maybe shifts a little softer, maybe a little more body fat. But I actually, yeah, I feel like now that you mention it, so um, I don't know if the drugs make it hard to sleep. I'm sure it doesn't help
It's just that the elevated androgen levels just they keep you
your brain.
intense.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So your brain just doesn't shut down.
exactly. You see how sometimes when I'm texting you and I have ideas and I just start rambling.
Yeah.
When I'm off cycle, I don't get that. So maybe I'm not as productive, but sometimes that's a good thing because the same thing that makes me productive is why I can't sleep because my brain always wants to work. I'm literally texting you. You gotta keep in my time. What is that like 4 in the morning? I'm texting you. That's not good. I'm fucking
I
trying to.
see.
Mhm.
I remember those days as like a very productive part of my life. Like, you know, my late 20s, early 30s, just getting into Blackstone. I mean, people would be like, yo, when are you sleeping? Because you responded to me at midnight. And then the second one was at 5 in the morning. And I'm like, I sleep somewhere in between.
Yeah,
And I liked it though. It wasn't negatively affecting me, although
I know what you mean.
I knew like, man, I gotta get more sleep, but I
Yeah,
wasn't walking around like I'm tired, you
I know
know.
what you mean. Yeah,
When I was bodybuilding, bro, I was so different. Like when I was just bodybuilding, I kind of, I guess I would compare, like when I listen to how Nick Walker says he is,
hmm
that's kind of how I was. Like I was not going out. I would take a nap. I would eat at the same time, the same food every freaking day. I was going to bed at the same time. Like everything was just routine because all I cared about was
yeah.
being bigger than everybody else. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I was very, very like robotic,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And it was weird because like when I wasn't competing, I would get into relationships and I would start competing and it would get all messed up because they'd be like
Who are you?
giving me affection. What's going on? What's going on? I'd be like, it's not you. I'm just this is just in my zone. So when I got out of bodybuilding, I still, staying on testosterone and whatnot, I still had that aggression in my mind to get shit done. So
Yeah,
I'd be doing stuff all night long. So like when you like message me at that time, I know that I'm gonna probably wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning anyway, and you'll probably still
yeah,
be up. So I'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
answer it then.
Yeah, it's wild. See, as far as locking in 100%, I have about 20 to 24 weeks in me,
Mm-hmm.
and then, and then I have to like, well, I don't have to, but then I always like relax a bit. I don't miss meals. Now I didn't miss training at all before, but now when my body feels beat up, I'll intentionally skip days because
Yeah.
I don't do like how like Ronnie and those guys would take like 2, 3 months off from the gym. I could
Mm-hmm.
never do that.
Me neither.
So the
No.
most I'll do is if I feel beat up, I'll skip. I might skip a leg day, skip a back day.
Yeah.
I might just skip an extra day or two, something like that. Um, but yeah, as far as the focus, same meal, same time. I'll do that for like 4 weeks before prep. I'll do that for prep, and I'll do that for like 4 weeks after prep. So let's say a good 24 weeks. And then right now I'm outside of that 24 weeks now, and I'm starting to slip up, but I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
I'm okay. So I get my meal in. I'm craving pancakes. There's literally pancakes outside the door right now with DoorDash. And I'll be like, I'll have the pancakes, and I'll just have balance it out with a protein shake, right? That's my carb source. and and I'm like, I don't. I think that's gonna keep me excited to do the sport rather than burnt out. And then I'll do the cruise in another 3 weeks. I'll do the cruise. Maybe eat a little bit less so I don't get fat. And then when I start the off season, I'm gonna eat clean just by default because you're gonna be so full. I'm gonna be so full that I'm not gonna have any cravings anymore.
Yeah.
Once I get over like 5,000 calories, the last thing I want to do is have lasagna because I'm like I don't even want to eat anymore.
No,
So no,
when you're a big dude, people don't understand. Like people throw numbers around, like, oh, I ate 10,000 calories. And it's like, no, you didn't. So people don't understand when you're a big dude and you have that much muscle and you're trying to break through those plateaus.
yeah,
Eating is like a job.
100%.
Like you actually get tired of eating.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Me and my ex used to have this debate. She would be like, let's switch meals for a day. And she would be like, it would probably be harder for you than me. And I'm like, you're right if we did one day. If I had, she probably eats, I don't know, 2,000 calories and I'm at like a 5,000. If we switch for a day, she probably could do it if she had to. I mean, you could eat ice cream and burgers if you
Mhm.
wanted to. And for me, I'll be hungry, yes, but that's one day. If we did it for a week, I mean, I've done preps on 1,500 calories. I could
Yeah.
do it, but I guarantee you, she couldn't eat 5,000 calories for a week.
No.
It's impossible, you know.
Impossible.
So anybody could train like us and eat like us for a day.
Yeah.
Try doing it for 4 months. That's when it gets tough.
Yeah.
That's the part people think of.
It's it's a full-time job, all that eating.
Yeah. I don't even think 5,000 calories is crazy amount. Shit, Compton was like on 8,000, right?
Yeah.
5,000 for me it's kind of comfortable for the first month,
Mhm.
but eventually you get a little backed up there, you know. So that's the hard part, doing it day in day out. Days you don't feel like it. What happens if you wake up, you don't have an appetite, you don't feel like eating? Do you just say I don't eat? No, you eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes bodybuilding difficult. But then the funny part is, I had a year where I was like, no more bodybuilding. I'm just gonna take off from bodybuilding. Then you find yourself somehow reverting back to the same habits that you find annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna I'm only gonna eat one meal a day. Then you eat your first meal, you're like, I think I could go for some beef and rice, and cause you're so used to it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I literally still ate 4 or 5 meals a day of the same foods that I said I didn't want to eat.
Yep.
Like, because what else would you do? You're gonna eat mac and cheese all day? You know you're not.
No. Also, it's like when you get used to eating like that, and then all of a sudden, if somebody says to remove that, it's almost like there's a lot of extra time.
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
what do I do if I'm not eating now? So you put the meals in anyway.
You don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Same with training. I was like, I'm gonna train at 50%.
Mhm.
Come on, bro. You're not training at 50%. Like, I'm getting a little pump workouts. I'm like, I go a little heavier. And then
Yeah.
you end up doing the same workout, you know.
Mhm.
I will say though, I gotta chill out with the weights now. I'm gonna be 32 next month. What are we in September? I'm gonna be this end of this month. And I'm like, at some point I gotta chill out with all that shit. I gotta I don't listen, I don't even believe I have to do that to grow. I think where I'm at, the growing literally is the food and GH at this point.
Uh-huh.
Even the antibiotics, I don't think I even grow from antibiotics. I think the food and the GH is what makes me grow. Just me honestly paying attention, to be completely honest. I think that's where it's at. The training is just stimulus. I believe I could train. Nobody probably wants to hit. I think I could train with half the weights I train with right now, and grow just as fast. Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if I grew even faster Because we see Nick Walker did that from
Mhm.
pressing 200-pound dumbbells to 100-pound dumbbells. He's still getting bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I felt personally, if I could go back in time, I've said this, I don't know if it was on your podcast, if I could go back in time, I would not have trained so heavy when I was young, because all the injuries that I accumulated by the time I was in my late 20s, when I got the best results, and everyone was like, damn, bro, what are you doing? Like, how much gear are you taking? And I'm like, I actually just am not training as heavy as I used to, and I've been responding crazy to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And but by that point, I was already really beat up.
It's just fun for, as a young man, you just want to test your limits, man.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's like it's inevitable. We all, every single one of us will say that the same thing you said. I'm gonna say it in 5 years.
Yep.
It only goes down to one road. Everybody told me this. All the OGs told me, but hey, bro, you don't got to do all that. But so with my young clients, bro, honestly, I don't even tell them to stop because they won't stop. I'll just say, but like if I see them do like a 1 rep max up match, I'm like, you doing back down sets, right? You're like, yeah, like what rep? Like 10 to 15. I'm like, cool. As long as you go back down to two plates and give me 10 to 15, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna do that max out. I can tell you 100 times, you're gonna walk in the gym and you're gonna see them do it anyways. They might try to hide it from you, but they're gonna do it, bro. you,
You know
you
what's
can't
funny
stop
is
them. Mhm.
so my boss, right? So I don't like having a training partner. I like to train alone. But my boss, like he's a good dude, and he wanted to get into like bodybuilding, right? So, he hired me when I was really in a bad spot, and I'm satisfying what I need to the government by having this job with him. The least I could do is let him work out with me, is the way that I look at it, right? So,
Mhm.
to be honest with you, I thought he was going to quit after a couple weeks, but we're like 3 months into it now, and the dude is like, he put on like 30 pounds. But it's funny is he is reminding me of like how like we were when we were young, but he's 40 years old, right? So I have to like tell him to chill out all the time. So the other day we were sometimes I have to just let him learn on his own. So the other day we're on the Smith machine, and we're doing like a really high incline press. And so I'm spotting him a lot. And like really, you don't want to be like spotting on the Smith machine. So I spot him. He did a set of 8, but I did like 4 of them.
Mhm.
So I go my set, right? I throw a quarter on, I bust out my set, and then I go to take the quarter off. And he goes, "Oh, shouldn't I try that?" I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh, I want to try it." I go, "No." He goes, "Really?"
Nah.
I go, "Bro, I'm helping you a lot already." And he goes, "Oh, I can't tell." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I don't want you to get stuck, but you got to listen to me." So he wanted to try. So I had to. I just let him get buried.
Boom.
And
You
then I
gotta
went in and
learn.
I pulled it up, and I was like, "You see what I mean?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I didn't realize you were helping me." I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you one more, and you're not stopping, and I'm pulling it up. You gotta listen."
You gotta learn the hard way, yeah. So
But I'm
yeah,
like, I don't want you to get hurt, bro.
yeah. So yeah, you say he's 40. Yeah, I guess it's not the age; it's when you start. It's when you
Because
start.
he's brand new.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
nothing hurts really, you know what I mean? But I don't want him to get hurt. I'm like,
exactly,
he's
exactly.
like, you know what, man? He's like, I'm sore, I feel good, but he's like, the way we train, like nothing hurts me bad. I'm like, that's good. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of my buddies, their shoulders are messed up, this and that. And like, I met one of his buddies who was literally walking around with wrist wraps on in the middle of the daytime. I'm like,
Holy
what's wrong
shit.
with him? He's like his wrists hurt from training. I'm like, he's just in public with wrist wraps on. I'm like,
That's
his
wild.
wrists are that bad, bro.
Do you remember a time where you were sore all week long? Every
Yeah.
workout you were sore?
Mhm.
I gotta be honest, bro. Like, I'll only get sore if I go train with one of my friends and do like a workout that I've never done before.
Yeah.
But but you don't actually have to get sore to
No.
make progress. I'm making more progress now, and I'm not. My knees and elbows aren't sore, but even my actual muscles, they don't really get. Maybe they get tight. Maybe I'll get some cramps here and there after leg day.
Mhm.
But soreness, delayed onset muscle soreness,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe there's spurts like right after prep. I go into rebound, my strength goes up, I get a crazy pump. I might get sore for the first couple of weeks after the show,
Mhm.
but 90% of the year, I don't get sore at all. You don't have to.
I
You know.
I I remember I could tell you the I'll tell you two of the most sore I've ever been. One, Guy Cisternino knows this story too. We went to train with John O'Regan at Strong and Shapely Gym in New
Oh,
Jersey
you work with John Reagan too.
back in the day. Yeah,
That was my first coach. I don't.
yeah,
I
me,
don't.
my first coach too, right?
We never.
He always found the big guys, bro.
But could we say he's everybody's first coach in the East Coast? Everybody.
Yeah, dude. At the time, it was. I don't know if you would know these other guys. You probably do, like Jeff Long.
Yeah.
Jeff Long, Chris LeCompte, me, and Guy were all like the same age. We're all working with him. And so we went to do shoulders, right? Bro, he must have made us do every exercise you could ever think of. Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking like 12 different exercises. It was the longest shoulder workout ever. And then he had us at the end finish up with like holding a plate and rotating it like this for as long as you possibly could. Just driving home from New Jersey, my arms already hurt so bad. Like Guy was saying the same thing. He's like, bro, my arms hurt so bad. I was sore from like my neck to my hand for days and days.
Yeah.
The other one is, and I know both of these guys remember this too, is I did a video, we did a video for, I think it was for muscular development at the Montanari Brothers gym. It was Evan Centopani, me, and Chris Tuttle did a leg workout, right?
Ooh.
And Evan was like, bro, I wanted to kill Evan, man. Like he was like, let's superset hack squat with walking lunges and like sissy squats. And it was like, we already squatted really heavy. And it was funny because I remember at one point Tuttle being like, why is he doing this to us? But we weren't going to give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, I remember 2 days later, I couldn't even go down the stairs. I had to hold the railing going down the stairs at my house. Like my legs were just giving out on me. And I was sore to the touch for a whole week after that.
Shit.
But outside of that, like, you know, you don't want to be so sore where you can't train, right? You know what I mean?
No. To touch on Evan real quick, from what I've heard about Evan, he's super calm, collected on the outside, but from what I hear on the inside, there's a fucking beast in there.
Yeah,
there's like a caged beast in there.
Oh yeah, he trains hard, man. And Evan is one of those guys that's very like quietly strong and intense. So you're not gonna like back down. Like if you're doing something and he's like 5 more, like you're gonna do the 5 more, even if he's doing half of it for you because he's doing the same thing, you know. But
I'm gonna get it done. Yeah.
He killed us that day. That was that was awesome.
And then to touch on John Reagan's methods were far from perfect, but I will say his general ideas and I guess the mindset he's bringing to you or teaching you is probably the best intro to bodybuilding you could ever do. And throughout the years, I veered away from it, some of the things, and now I'm actually going back to it. I'm like, you know what? I think he kind of had it right. Now, I would go about it a little different. Like I wouldn't eat as much. Let's just say that. I would probably eat a little bit less. I don't think I need that much. But
a pound of potatoes.
Yeah. Or let's say the diuretic protocol. Yeah. I see what he was getting at. And he's also aware that I'm a Black West African guy and we hold a shit ton of water. So he actually had the right mindset, because any other coaches would recommend me to take the smallest amount of diuretics. And the truth is that for guys like me or Akeem or Samson,
I remember Dave was like, Dave was like, I have to give him more diuretics. You can't make him flat. It doesn't matter. He won't ever get flat.
And it's almost like you can't even talk about it because it's very dangerous for me. Because let's say if you tried what I do diuretic profile, you might die, literally. You know, whereas for me, I won't even get a cramp. I won't even cramp up. I'll be
half of a diazide wrecks me.
You see?
Wrecks me.
I've done a half of a diazide after every meal, bro.
Yeah. No, I know. The year that I did North Americans, the first one with Dave, I did a half of a diazide over like a 24-hour period 4 times. So a total of 2. And I think they weren't even a high dose. They were like the 37.5s.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you cut that in half, that's really not that much. And
No, it's not a crazy amount.
bro, it took me days to get back to normal. And I had plenty of salt, but I was cramping bad everywhere. I wound up getting diarrhea. Like it like really, really kicked my ass.
Man, I've never had a cramp, and then I would wash it out with Lasix, so it would be
Mhm.
like John probably didn't have you do as much diuretics, I'm sure,
We
but
did
he
have
was
that
start.
going.
Yeah, well, he started for me with the Expel. I don't know if he did that with you, like over
Yeah.
the counter,
Yep.
and then he would go to Aldactone, and then some Diazide. No, he never did Lasix for me. I think later on I did Lasix myself and realized that I could handle Lasix and actually prefer it because I didn't need as much, But yeah, I think he just did. Yeah, he did Expel, Aldactone, and Diazide. Yeah, I don't think he did Lasix with people, and it worked. I mean, I got
Yeah.
it worked. But then obviously, like I said, I start to learn new shit, and I'm like, no, that's too much. And then I'm fucking soft, and I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
maybe there's something to it.
I know that John cared about us though.
He did.
I had this talk with Guy, like all the different people I've met through my life in bodybuilding, like he wanted us to do well. Like he cared about us as people. I
100%.
I my first national show that I ever did, he coached me. I because the year before that I was a light heavyweight, and I was like, man, I want to put on size and do junior USA's. I'm already qualified, but I want to do it as a heavyweight. And I went into junior USA's at 220 pounds, and I got 4th place in my class. And people started talking about me after that. That's actually when I met Dave Palumbo, because he was like, "You would have won if your glutes weren't soft."
Yeah.
And I started talking to him. But the reason that I left Oriegan after that was because I felt that he was getting like really aggressive with the drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, but at the same time, when I look back at it now, years later, it probably wasn't as aggressive as as it could have
You
been.
know, I kind of feel the same way. I think for that age and time in our
Yeah,
lives, it was probably too much. But that his doses are what like top national guys are
yeah.
taking. We just weren't top national guys at the time.
No, it's funny because I remember, bro. I remember I have like a crazy memory. So I remember I was in Arizona, and it was like my first year working with Palumbo, and he'd like put me in the magazines and stuff. And I was at the gym, and Quincy Taylor was there. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen Quincy Taylor, like when he was in his prime in real life, like he was freaky, dude. Especially because he's like 6'3".
Holy shit! I didn't know
And
that.
so this is how big Quincy is. He told me, and I don't know if this is because he would tell some funny stories. He told me, so he was him and Michael Clark Duncan were the 2 big apes in Planet of the Apes, right? And Michael
Oh, I
Clark
didn't know
Duncan was
that.
like 6'5", 300-pound dude. He told me that they put gorilla muscles on Michael Clark Duncan, but to him, they just put hair on him. They didn't change him at all. They said you're too big the way you are.
He don't need it. Yeah, honestly, I don't think he needs it.
So when I was out there, right? He came up to me in the gym, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" And he was like, "Oh, you're Dave's boy."
Mhm.
He just flat out goes, "What you running right now?" And I was like, "Huh?" He goes, "What are you running right now? You trying to make something of yourself?" I said, "Yeah." I'm doing 750 megs a test and 400 megs a deca. And he goes, "What else?" And I go, "That's it." And he goes, "What, you trying to go pro in the women's division?" And I was like, "This is the most I've ever done." And bro, I
Yeah,
remember like I'm like, "Man, how much do you do?" And he was like, "Man, you can't do what I do." He's like,
you know me.
I'm QT. You're not on my level yet." He's like, "Man, I do 2,000 milligrams of test a week." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like telling me about how much GH he does. And he was like, "Well, you got to get yourself to that level. But man, you got to do more than what you're doing now." Man, I remember I went home and I was like, "I got to do 1,000 megs a test." And that
You
was the
got to.
first time I ever pushed it up to 1,000 megs a test. So to me at that time, that seemed like crazy.
That was a lot. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, the first time I heard people doing, I remember in an interview, it was what's the guy that went to jail? I'm drawing a blank. The guy that killed his assistant and went to jail.
Craig Titus,
Craig Titus. He was talking about jail. He was like, "Have you?" But he was in jail talking
of
interview, I
course.
guess. I don't know. And he was like, "Have you seen Jay's jaw? He's at least 1,000 milligrams of test or more." And at the time when I heard it, I'm like, "Whoa, there's no way Jay's taking that much." Now I'm like, "That's probably like nothing to Jay."
Yeah,
Like
well, first of all, Jay's jaw was already big when he was a
it
teenager.
was exactly. Oh, got a big one.
You know what's crazy, man, is like sometimes I would meet guys
Mhm,
and they would tell me what they were doing, and it seemed so insane.
mhm.
And I would be like, this guy is crazy. But then I would be like, damn, maybe more guys are doing that than I'm not. But on the flip side, and I, I hate to throw out names, right? But
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna throw it out because he's got the best genetics of anybody I ever met. Like when
Mhm.
I trained Keon for the Olympia,
Mhm.
dude, he was as close to natural as you could get. He couldn't
Yeah.
be more than 180 pounds, right? He
Yeah.
couldn't be. And I was torturing him with like fish and greens to keep his weight down. I put him on 20 milligrams of Anavar, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, for 4 weeks, I was like, we're gonna do a little bit of Winstrol. Right. He started growing too fast. So
Couldn't,
I
yeah,
was
he
like,
couldn't stay in the weight class.
you have to come off of it. You're not going to be able to make the weight. So somebody like that, right? I was
Mhm.
like, look, dude, when we start, all you're going to do is 500 milligrams of testosterone a week. That's all you need. You're going to be able to
For
do
sure.
that for a long time. You're going to get fucking huge.
He might
And
still be doing that.
dude, he got to 200 pounds instantly and looked
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, I cannot believe what you look like. So now you look from then till now, it's been 3 years or whatever since I've worked with him. He's probably gonna win the fucking Olympia again this year. And he
Hmm.
honestly, he could probably start going and winning shows in the open. And he really most likely isn't doing that much here. He's just got crazy ass genetics.
I would put money that in that entire 212 lineup, he's probably taking the least amount. Which is always weird to say because people think the winner takes the most, where usually the last place guy, the one who's trying to catch up, is
Yeah.
the one taking the most shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
but it makes sense logically, right? If you're in last place, you're like, what can I do to make first call out, right?
Of course.
If you're in first place, you're like, everything I'm doing is working perfectly fine. So
Well,
there's no need for
when
me
you
to.
get to the point where it's pretty easy to go through the checklist in your head, I can train harder. All right, well, I'm training as hard as I can, so let's move that out of the way. I
Yeah.
could eat better. Well, man, I'm nailing my food. I haven't fucking cheated ever on my dad, blah, blah, blah. So it's probably not that. What's the next thing you do is change your drugs.
Exactly. Here's the thing: like I don't preach high or low drugs. I'm not like, oh, like I feel like sometimes some of the older school guys, they think it's a feather in their cap if they brag about how little they took, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think they downplay it quite a bit.
Oh, of course.
I don't care if Phil Heath told me he took 500 or 5,000. Phil Heath is Phil Heath.
Yeah.
I won't gain or lose any respect for him more or less. It makes no difference
Yep.
to me. Whatever you have to. So I'm into the business of whatever you need to take for your body. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, at this moment, as we speak, I'm on 750 tests.
Mm-hmm.
That's not because I'm moral police or I'm trying to be super health conscious. That's literally because I just can't handle anymore at this
Yeah.
moment. I told you my sleep is fucked up. I'm tired all the time. So I started the cruise. I started at 1,000, and my plan was to work my way up. I was gonna get it to a gram and a half. Was my, I'm like, they want me bigger, I'm gonna get bigger. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't handle it, bro. Like my appetite went to shit. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take MK677 to get an appetite. Then I'm holding water from it, and
Water.
my blood
Yep.
sugar is going up, and I'm bloated. I'm like, this is stupid. So I came off of that. Now my appetite goes low, so my food has to come down. My sleep. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing too much. Too much is going on. Okay, let me cut out the anti-estrogens. Let me lower the fucking test. Let me take out the trend. Test and EQ. 750 tests, 500 EQ. That's it.
Mhm.
Now my body is responding. So it's not like less can be more. I'm not gonna say less is more because sometimes more is more.
Yep.
Because if I was at 1,000 and I was getting good results, I wouldn't have went down. I would have tried to go up a little bit to 1250, and then 1250 feels good. I'm gonna keep it here. Or 1250 starting to feel bad, go back down. Feels great, go up. So I'm literally going by what can you handle to get the most benefits and the least side effects. That's it.
Mhm.
That could be 500 and it could be 2,000. For Quincy, it was 2,000. I
Yeah.
can't do I can't do 2,000. If I do 2,000, I'm gonna look like a water buffalo. I'm gonna lose my appetite and my sleep and mood and training goes down. My hands get swollen. I got some beefy hands, man. So I
Mhm.
can't even hold the bar sometimes if I get swollen. So it's literally like it's a contest of how can you be the best for your body. Don't compare your doses to you or him or it's irrelevant. So I'm just trying to find what works. 750 works right now, but I don't want to skew it and tell people I just want 750 because now they're like, they might not believe me. They'll be like, nah, I don't think so because it's not true. Because I go anywhere from 750 to 1,500. It just
Yeah.
depends where I'm at, how I'm feeling, and how I'm responding. I think if we're that honest, people are always gonna believe what I say because I'm so honest. They're like, "There's why would he lie?" Because he'll tell us the bad shit too. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I
I
feel.
found personally for me, my sweet spot of like off season consistent growth, I found personally that I would keep my test around 1,000, right? So I would essentially do 200 to 250 milligrams every other day consistently. That was how I would run it. And I would rotate in, like if I was rotating in EQ, I would do 200 milligrams every other day of the EQ also. And I would do phenomenal like that. What I found was if I increased my testosterone, I actually did this 2 years in a row, increasing the testosterone actually, for whatever reason, ramped my metabolism up more.
Couldn't keep up with the food.
And I couldn't. So I actually started dieting like that. I would start like 20 weeks out. I'd put my test up to 1,500, pull the rest out, and I'd go down till about 12 weeks like that. And then I'd cut my test in half, but I'd start rotating in the Masteron and the Tren and all the other things. And it was very interesting to see like more tests not equaling more gains, you
Yeah.
know, just really keeping my metabolism going more.
If you up if you're trying to grow like a growing scenario and you up drugs and you don't up food or you're
Yeah.
unable to eat more food, you're just taking more drugs, you
Yeah.
know. So whereas like this might be a bad example, but let's say Dallas McCarver,
Mm-hmm.
he he was obviously on a lot of drugs,
Yep.
but he could eat enough food to keep up with the drugs. So he was growing unlimitedly, you
Yeah.
know. His only limited factor, I guess, was his heart genetics, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, we can say more drugs doesn't equal more gains, but if you can eat to match the drugs, which I think most people just can't eat 7,000
Yeah.
calories.
Oh, it's
But if
hard.
you know, if you can eat to match the drugs, you'll grow, you know?
The only way that I could do it in that phase personally was I used fast acting insulin with the meals to take the calories in.
That
And
worked
that was
out.
the only way that I could really solidify it. But, you know,
Okay.
it's when I look at some of the guys that did that, it seems they really blew their waists out. And I don't think I did it long enough for that to happen to me, but I did definitely get a little thicker in the
Sure.
abdomen than I would have wanted to be. Like I got buddies, I'm not going to say their names, that were using the insulin at every meal.
Mm,
And their torsos got so much bigger. And I feel like it has to be the correlation between,
I think so.
you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, yeah.
it's just why does that specifically happen like that?
Hey, hey, Kane. What he's eating something. What the hell are you eating? Okay, he's leaping. Like what,
He's
what
cute.
what meal can be next to my shoes? It can't be a nutritious meal by my fucking shoes. I think he's eating. Ah, fuck it, he'll be okay. Yeah, but it's one of those things, man. I think I think when it comes to drugs and food, let's say Compton, for instance. Well, when I started working with Compton, like I asked him straight up, like, "Hey, how much?" I mean, it's a weird question, but hey, how much test did you take, bro? Like, I'm curious. He's a big motherfucker. He's like, oh, I like to stay around, 1,000 max, maybe 1,250. And at the time, I was a lot younger. The first time I worked at Compton, it was like 20. What? Where's he eating, bro? Kane, sit down. Sit down. He having a meal somehow. But yeah, and then honestly, at the time, yeah, like say 2018, 6 years ago. So I was like 23, maybe 20, 23. And I wasn't sure if I believed him. I gotta be honest with you. I'm like, I think he's playing it down a little bit, maybe because he doesn't want me to take a lot of drugs.
It could be.
Now but then now I'm like, I get it because he also said when I would go over that, I would get more negative than positive, and it wasn't conducive to growing
Mhm.
because he needed to eat a lot of food. So now I look and I'm like, well, because I feel exactly the same. If I go over a certain amount, I just even if I could grow, I don't because the other factors just overturn that. You
Yeah.
know. Now he did say he would increase the GH or he
Mhm.
continued to titrate the GH. He just didn't compete for long enough to ever get really. He was only like 26, so he
Yeah.
never got to a point where he was on 20 IUs of GH. But he
Mhm.
would go up. He went like you said, 2 to 4 to 6 to 8, 10. So I don't know where we capped off, but that's very believable because I actually believe that's when you go. Oh, how? Give me 1 second.
Check out him.
I think he was eating the shoe. I didn't know he was on that level yet.
Did he eat your shoe?
He was the shoe looks intact, but he was like chewing on it, I guess. But it's
One thing I learned with Jack, because like bullies, like pit bulls, that breed, they get kind of like anxious,
you
like
know,
anything around like the bulldog family. So like with Jack, when I would leave the house, man, I had to when he was young, I had to really look around because if I left my shoes out
be gone.
or if I left like the remote control for the TV on the floor, something like that, it was gonna get chewed up.
It was gone. Well, luckily, honestly, I don't even wear my sneakers anymore. I wear Crocs now, so I don't even think I care about sneakers. I'm not gonna let him eat it,
Yeah.
but to be honest, it don't even bother me. I
Yeah,
just
no, it's an anxiety thing. Like when you're not giving them attention, they get anxious and
oh,
they'll start like chewing on stuff.
should I bring him next to me? Maybe let
You
him hang out
can
next to me.
bring them over,
Yeah,
or
let me
just
bring
make
him
sure
over.
he has a little chew toy, like one of those indestructible chew toys.
Bro, he doesn't want to play with them. He has three of them over there. He'll
Yeah.
he'll hit it a couple times and leave it alone. I'll bring it. I'll bring him next to me. Give him some attention.
Jackie, what are you doing, big boy? What are you doing, Jack? Come here, big man.
I didn't wipe his paws though, but he'll be okay.
He'll be all right. He's cute, man.
Say what's up to PJ.
Hey,
Hey, what's up,
he looks
PJ?
good. He's beautiful. Look at this
Mm-hmm.
old man right here. Ugh. There's Jackie boy.
Look at your friend. Your friend
that
Jackie.
was Flex Lewis's dog. He gave him to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, years and years ago. He's the best. Right, Jackie?
Now he got some attention. Yeah, but it's one of those things. Now I get it. I do think it's more of a food and GH contest than it is anabolics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think just taking more and more antibiotics get people that big, you know?
Man, I'll tell you, I wish that I had access to real growth hormone and money for real growth hormone when I was competing
Mm-hmm.
because it makes such a big difference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It makes the
GH.
combination of GH and test is so profound. Like, so now that I'm retired, right? Like people always ask me, like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? Like, man, once you're on test and real GH together, that's really all you need to do to look really good. Like if I was getting back into
100%.
bodybuilding again, of course I'd mess around with other things. But the combination of test and GH, it's so significant how good they work together. So
Yeah, 110%, man. And once you get that down pat, you're good to go. You talk about the insulin, you can really fucking blow up on insulin. I don't
mhm.
do insulin without GH because I'm always on GH, but I'm to the point I grow so fast on insulin, I can't do it longer than a couple of weeks. I'll
Yeah,
put on 15 pounds in a week, and I'm like, I'm almost nervous. I can't fucking breathe. I'm like
yeah.
so saturated. If I could handle that uncomfortability, I think I could just grow unlimited. I could have unlimited growth. I just don't know what that leads to, or what that looks like health wise, or if that's even a good thing. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna continue to do it in spurts. I just can't stay on it, bro. I can't. If I gain 20 pounds in 2 weeks, I can't. I can't even train at that point.
Yeah. You
Let
know what?
alone.
You wonder, of course, like some people genetically can just hold way more size than others, like what is that tipping point for people where it's too much versus where other people it's not a big deal. It's you kind of have to figure that out on your own. I remember I saw Dallas McCarver like a couple weeks before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an appearance at the store and he was there also. And I was talking to him and I was like, God damn, this dude is so big. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
back then, Aaron and I were still talking. And I was like, bro, man, what is Dallas doing?
yeah,
And he
yeah.
was like, he looks amazing, right? And I was like, yeah, he's a freak. I'm like, but bro, he was like pouring sweat the whole time. He was
Mm-hmm.
out of breath the whole time. His skin looked real red. Like it just made me feel like uncomfortable. Like I hope you're
You
having like
okay?
talks with him about it. And so afterwards, when that happened, man, that's like devastating to hear because he already was so big. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like he was already so big. So when you keep pushing the envelope like that, sure, some guys genetically can do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the risk is like, did you ever talk about it? Like with Compton, for instance, because me and Aaron, we had Compton in our we had a presidential suite
Mm-hmm.
at the Encore Suites in Vegas, right? And we had Kai Green in there, and we actually had Compton in because we were talking about like maybe doing something with him, right? We were looking to bring on another big bodybuilder. And I'm not sure what he weighed at the time, but I was like, when he left, I told Aaron, I go, bro, that's a huge motherfucker, bro. Like
Yeah, the biggest
he
shit.
is big, like maybe like a notch below Dallas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He was rounder than him, but
yeah.
not as big as him, I guess.
But I remember wondering, right? Like when he left, I was like, I wonder if he's uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
carrying all that around because the biggest I ever got was 280.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that off season, basically, I was doing insulin. I was doing 30 units a day, spaced out, breakfast, pre workout, post workout, right? Of Humalog. I would do it for 30 days. Then I'd take a break for a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the 280 that I mean, I was strong as hell, but I was just uncomfortable, man. Like I felt like I was hot all the time. I would get out of breath. Like having sex, like if I was on top, my forearms would burn so much, like they would get so pumped up, like in my neck and everything, that I almost felt
Yeah.
like a loser. Like I'm like you got to get on top of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Okay, here's the thing, right? Some people are very comfortable being that uncomfortable.
yeah,
Whereas, like, I'm not afraid to work hard or push the envelope, but there's a certain amount I'm like, this is stupid. I feel like I'm gonna die
yeah,
and I'm not gonna do this. Now, the people who can ignore that feeling are the people who get the biggest.
yep.
Like Joe's on a podcast, and
He's
we was in
huge.
Dallas, and I see how uncomfortable he was, but he's okay with it.
Yeah,
But this is why Joe is so big. Whereas if I felt like that, I would be like, I'm definitely going to drop the meal tomorrow and feel somewhat human for a week maybe before pushing again. Whereas Joe, if it's on the program, he's gonna fucking do it,
yeah,
and it's commendable and I respect it. But I'm also okay with being how I am because I'm like, I don't know, like what does that even mean? If I feel that uncomfortable for that long, will I actually die? I mean, I don't know. It's possible. Who the fuck knows?
yeah,
So I did. There's a limit where I'm like, no, I'm not gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna stop it here, regardless of what my coach says. I'm gonna, like the coach is not the end all be all. He doesn't know exactly how I feel.
mhm,
He respects, like Compton respects my opinion. He knows I'm
yeah,
not a pussy.
mhm,
So the other day, literally, my digestion was so bad, I just took a week off and pulled the food back. And he didn't complain about it. I just told him, okay, no problem. He gave me this cleanse, and I did this cleanse actually. It really helped. But
good,
it's one of those things that where if it was Joe would probably wouldn't say nothing and kept pushing it. And
yeah,
Joe is bigger than me now. When I met Joe, I was a lot bigger than him. Now he's bigger than me, so it works. I just I know my own limits that I'm willing to push, and I have certain things that I'm just not willing to keep pushing.
mhm.
So does that make it soft? I don't really care.
No,
I don't care what that makes me.
and your mindset might change in a couple of years, and it might
It's
go
true.
dramatically one direction or the other. Like I'm in a weird spot now where you know I was lean for so long, right? That it was like easy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at photographs of myself, like before I went away, I was like, God, I was so lean, man. I want to be lean like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that I was so stressed out because of the trial that I was just burning through shit. My body was just
Yeah,
stressed.
yeah.
I mean, like I could eat whatever and I was gonna still have like lean abs at all times. So now that I got so fat in prison, coming back, getting into it, I feel like I'm in this weird mindset of I kind of almost feel like a meathead, like when I was in my 20s again, where I kind of want to get jacked. And it really would be only for like personal ego reasons. Like I'm what I'm cruising on is 300 milligrams of testosterone, right? And I do have GH, and I do a tiny little bit of anastrozole, just a very small amount. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like, man, in my head, I'm like, man, I should just like go on 500 mgs a test, or I should just do this. Like I'm training so hard, like I'm not gonna get what I want to get at this cruise dosage, but at the same time, I keep holding myself back because I am plugging along. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Main
it's
game,
weird.
yeah.
I'm waiting to see when in my mind I just decide like, all right, I'm gonna like kick it up a little bit because by my standards, I'm like doing nothing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, like from an HRT standpoint, I'm doing plenty. You know?
Exactly, exactly. So I guess it just depends where you want to take it. I think it would be cool if you did like a transformation kind of thing. I guess either way, you could do like a crazy bulk, then like a cut or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to just to keep people engaged and to keep yourself engaged. So
I'm putting a lot of like effort into my training, bro. Like I'm training hard every morning. Like, I'm sore, like not where I can't like live a normal life, but Like I'm going to war in there every morning. Like for the couple of years before I went away, man, I was just going in there getting a pump.
Yeah, yeah.
It was no big deal. I was just maintaining everything that I had. So now that I have this drive to see what I can do, I'm kind of like, well, I need to maybe put some more gear in there with it too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I might, hey, that might not be because even more is not like a crazy amount for you right now,
No.
But I would love to see that, like, with your coaching, like, but before you start your coaching, do like this big transformation. I think it would be cool, for people to follow along and see that.
It seems for whatever reason, it's the fat is coming off a lot slower than it used to. And
Okay, okay.
it can't be, people are like, oh, well, you're 43, bro. You're old now. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm on testosterone. So that
It
I'm
kind of
not,
negates it.
you know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean? Like I got higher
Mhm.
testosterone than an 18-year-old. So it's just, I don't know. I guess I just have to be patient and just keep chipping away at it. I think that it's different when you have a goal of like, whenever I would do the BPJ, right?
Mhm.
As crazy as it sounds, I would do it like I was doing a bodybuilding show. So
100%.
I'd be like, yo, Blackstone's gonna give away 10 grand to whoever beats me in this. But I have a plan laid out. I'm gonna diet like I'm training for a show. And that's why I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
change so much every time. So maybe I need to give myself like that kind of goal. So I'm
To-
I'm taking it more than just the training part of it, you know?
I can 100% say without a shadow of a doubt, if I wasn't getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, I probably couldn't get below, I don't know, 8% body fat.
Yeah.
Just because I wouldn't have enough drive to get there. Like I don't like to diet and do cardio. I have to have like a goal big enough to really push me to do it. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things that's the only way I could even do that. So competing for me, it's still a hobby, man. It's still a
Yeah.
hobby. I just feel like my genetics is good enough that I could get a pro card.
Yeah, you
But
have you have great genetics. You're a big dude, man. And you're
thank you,
round,
man.
you know?
Thank you, brother. So I'm gonna go for it, but it doesn't matter if I didn't have the genetics to go pro. It would change nothing. I would still do it. I would still do it the same way I do it. The training, it's not hard for me. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
The dieting. I don't even think the dieting is hard. It's just a challenge that I don't mind. I don't mind. My food gets really low, but you gotta keep in mind I don't have like a huge appetite, anyways. And I get tired of eating a lot of food either way. So it's kind of a nice break. The energy levels suck 6 weeks out and on. That's
Mhm.
probably the hardest part. But that's like a 4 week window. A month, anybody could anybody could take a month of suffering. Anything outside of that, I'm not really suffering. I'm just like eating a little less food.
When you're doing a show, when do you lose your sex drive? How many weeks out?
You usually by Compton gets the ball rolling really fast. So with Compton,
Mhm.
sometimes by 8 weeks out. But this year, it came back, bro. I started losing it, and I got really horny toward the end.
Yeah.
But part of that could have been I also like started dating a girl I was dating before. I think she was
Mhm.
just making me horny just because I wasn't around any girls for a while. but yeah, it's weird. The body's sometimes weird. I felt like I could have had sex show day, but
It's so funny because the year that I worked with Oriegan for Junior USA's,
Mhm.
I literally had sex with my girlfriend in my hotel room before I got spray tan. And people
Mhm.
were like, yo, that's crazy. Are you still having sex? And I'm like, yeah. And
It's
then
wild.
with Palumbo, though, on the keto diet and everything, it hit me so much differently. I lost it probably around like 4 or 5 weeks out. But I mean, I remember Guy telling me that he lost his sex drive like 12 weeks out. And so, like, his
Mhm.
girl would just have to deal with it. And I'm like, you're not having sex at all for 3 months? And he was like, nah, I
Yeah.
lose it completely.
Well, I've been there where I've lost it like 10, 12 weeks out.
Yeah.
I've been there where I didn't lose it at all. I've been there where I've lost. It's different every time. I don't know why. I don't even think it's a body fat thing. I will say the anti-estrogens, like with O'Regan, he would give me
Oh
quite a
yeah.
bit of
Hmm.
that'll kill your sex drive in a heartbeat. Even off season, I don't do AI's off season. When I do it, my sex drive does dip quite a
Yeah,
bit.
it'll wipe it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I remember Oriegan that second year. He wanted me to do like Arimidex and Femera like together,
oh yeah,
like D-ball and Anadrol together. I was like, man, what? This is like too much. That was actually what made me go away from him. Was I just thought the protocol was too much. But you know, it's
bro.
funny.
He had me. I shit you not. He had me do a Remidex, Exemestane, Novadex, and
Yeah,
Letro. Literally, you know. Granted, like I said, he knew my body held a lot
yeah,
more water than most people. But in my head, I'm like, well, they kind of do the same thing. Like I
yeah.
don't get
It's like
it.
so much at that point, you know.
But I mean, listen, like I said, he's extreme, but sometimes the extremity is almost a prove a point, and sometimes it does prove a point. Like, let's see if you have no estrogen to be detected how you look,
And you know
and
what? You you can't deny that you could go through the list of really big young bodybuilders that started with him. He had a lot of really good guys.
he literally had everybody, man. I know he
Yeah.
had Dallas and
Yep.
Trigili and Jeff Long. I mean, I heard he even had somebody told me that he helped Kevin Levrone early on.
Yeah, early on,
I
I think.
heard.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, he helped everybody. And listen, he knew we didn't have no money, so I probably paid him once. I mean, and even when I paid him, he didn't really seem interested in money at all, if I'm being honest.
No,
So
dude, he was such a good guy that he got me a rice cooker for Christmas one year.
holy shit,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, 'cause he knew I was eating so much rice. Like, I didn't expect to get a gift from the guy. You know, like he
yeah.
really did care about us. You know, I was just thinking. This just popped into my head. Did you ever hear Palumbo tell the story of when he coached Kevin Levrone?
No, no. Oh, I know he said his body changed quick,
He
but
said that he
I
saw
didn't hear
him
the.
and he was like, "There's no chance at all. You have
Oh,
no
okay, that he was.
chance of winning at all." And then in a matter of 4 weeks, he was like, "Holy shit, you're gonna win the whole thing!" Like, said he's never in his life seen anyone change that
Okay.
dramatically before.
That must be nice, bro. That must be
Yeah,
like see Sean Roden did that, but Sean Roden also intentionally got like skinny fat though, you
yeah,
know. So I think Kevin was small, but I still think Kevin's was a lot more drastic. And Sean's happened over like the course of 16, 20 weeks.
yeah.
Whereas Kevin's happened within 4 to 6 weeks, he was
It
a
was like
different
six
person.
weeks. He went from like 220 to 260 and ripped.
That's just crazy, bro. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You know, Paul
You know?
Gillette told me that I ran into Paul Gillette. We both have the same doctor down here, and you know
Mm-hmm.
he was like one of the original mass monsters. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
he told me that he was completely off right for years,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, maybe I'll get back into it again. And he said he put on 40 pounds in the first month. So like you
Shit.
know, some of those guys they just have those like really like hyper sensitive receptors where you put stuff in and they just
It takes off.
yeah.
I like to believe I have good genetics, but which I do, but there's levels to this genetic shit.
Oh yeah.
Like my one of my clients who happens to be my roommate right now at the moment, further he's natural. He's done one show which he prepped in 3 weeks and he won the show. And the plan is for him to get on cycle before USA's next year. Because I want him to come in as a middleweight. And now I'm like, the way he's growing right now, if I put him on cycle, it might be harder for him to turn pro because he ain't gonna be a middleweight.
Yeah.
You know, he already might outgrow the middleweight class. If I put him on cycle, he's probably gonna be a light heavy, and that's gonna make it more. There's some really good light heavies out there.
Oh yeah.
You know? I'm positive he will get his pro card at the middle. I think handedly, but he might have to stay natural in order to do that. You know, so his genetics are so good that if he would get out of the light heavy anyways eventually. I kind of wanted to get him the card first and then take like a couple years off. But the way he's growing, just from actually eating the food and me monitoring him, it's like way more than I grew on my first cycle.
Yeah, that's the best, man. When you
Every
get a respond like that.
oh, every check-in, he's bigger and leaner. It's not even like for me, I would be bigger, a little bit fatter. He's bigger and leaner, bigger and leaner. It's like how and where, and it doesn't make any sense.
How
It,
old is
it, it
he?
doesn't. He's 27, I believe.
Oh, young too. That's great.
When I met him, so he was living in the building and he was working out at the apartment gym. They have 20-pound dumbbells here. And this guy's arms is popping through his shirt and he's coming home with Popeyes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is that what you eat, bro? Yeah. I'm like, hey, bro, come work out with me at Zoo. He's working out with me. He's keeping up, pressing 3 plates. How can you press 3 plates and you're working
Yeah.
out at an apartment? It,
Bro, that's
it
like
doesn't.
Michael Lockett used to only eat like 3 meals a day. And when
Yeah,
he started,
candy and shit
bro, when he started getting serious, he grew like crazy.
overnight.
Like crazy. I was like, there's no way that you're only eating 3 meals a day. But I don't think he was lying, man. Like, I think he was being honest.
You know, remember when he told people he was natural and everybody was like, okay, bullshit. But look at what he became after that.
I
He
know,
he
bro.
he must have been natural back then because he got twice the size.
Oh yeah, he had one of the most impressive upper bodies you would ever see. Like his legs were behind, but when he
Mhm.
really filled out, like the roundness to his shoulders and stuff, man, like he was a beast.
And when he started winning, they're like, "What did you change?" He said, "I stopped dieting." So, so because all it was like Roman. Like sometimes I'm like, I think Roman should just not diet at all
Yeah,
and just walk up on stage.
go
You know.
if you're that lean.
Yeah.
What did you think of the North Americans?
Oh, that winner was very impressive actually. Um, he did the USA's. He got third, I think,
Mhm.
and he came in tighter and he won. But I thought he was very impressive. And who else did I thought was who won the? There was somebody else I thought was impressive. I can't remember now. Who won the light heavies? I don't remember. But yeah, the winner was very impressive. I thought the heavyweight class was pretty deep. My boy Brett got third. He just too tall for the heavyweights.
Mm,
But it's like the supers a lot of times are the least impressive class. You know, a lot of times it's the heavies and light heavy.
yep.
They're really. But yeah, the winner. I had him on a podcast the last episode. Um, he came in on Nigerian time, so he came in like the last 15 minutes. But it was still good to talk to him. He lives right by my sister in Marietta, so I'll try to get a workout with him. He trains really hard, and he's still pretty new to the sport. Like people think like 4 years is a long time. They're like, "Wow, it took so long," and I'm like, "Yeah, 4 years is not long at all."
No,
I
that's
think
not.
he, no, I think he has a very very bright future, honestly.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so that it's gonna be fun to keep up with that, man. But PJ, let me not hold you on too long. But definitely, if we can do this weekly, I would love to have you on every week.
Yeah, I
Chop it
appreciate you
up,
having me on, man. It's fun.
of course, man. Chop it up. Maybe do some coaching questions, since you have a lot of knowledge that I'm sure people want to hear, and then go from there. Or we can just chop it up like we do now because you're very easy to talk to. We have a lot of similar ways of thinking. So,
No, I
but
appreciate
guys,
it. It's fun for me. It's making me feel productive at least with all the restrictions that I got.
good. The pancakes are getting cold now, so let me go grab the
Go get them, bro.
pancakes.
Go get them. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, PJ.
All
Take
right,
care,
have a good
man.
night,
Stay up.
brother. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.